Today is going to be a special episode, but this is a story that, well, first I'm going to talk about, my favorite movie of all time, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. If you haven't seen it yet, I strongly suggest you do. You should pause this video and watch every single Star Wars movie you haven't watched yet. This is the tragedy of the CS project. Yeah, so first, Star Wars, it's my favorite movie, favorite scene from my favorite movie, therefore my favorite scene of all time is when Mace Windu faces off against Palpatine. Every single line I think I remember, and it's just a masterpiece. And I'm not saying that ironically. I genuinely enjoy watching the prequels. I know some people are like, I know there's prequel memes and I love prequel memes, but it's like I actually enjoy Episode 3. Not so much the first two, but Episode 3 is a genuinely good movie. I strongly suggest you watch it. I already said that. Whatever. Yeah. And anyway, I just love Episode 3. Growing up, I played a game that I ended up buying on Steam last year or last year. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the old one. That was big on Episode 3. Also, last year, I bought Lego Star Wars. That's what Lego Star Wars is, what you're seeing right now. Played through most of it, except Episode 3. This is my first time playing through that. Something I wanted to save just for a video, because, well, the big thing about Star Wars Episode 3 is betrayal. And so in November, I was working on a group project, one of my friends, and we were like, oh, well, there's two of us, but we can have three, so why don't we have three? So what I did, I went on the message boards. I was like, hey, we need a third. So if you're a good guy, we want to work with you. And someone replied to my message, and they were like, yeah, okay. So I was like, all right. I never ended up meeting him in person, but we signed up together. We did all the project stuff, writing up reports and stuff, and then when it was finally time for the development, this guy, there's no good word. Basically, what ended up happening was we organized everything, and then it turns out it wasn't as well organized as we thought it would be, so we ended up having to revise large sections of our code. But whenever my friend and I would do that, we'd be like, hey, I'm changing this, or hey, do you think we should change this? But whenever I would log on to the old Git repository, big changes from this guy from very late at night, and I'm wondering, what do you do? So I try compiling it. Things that used to compile the day before just don't. So I have to set aside the time to fix these errors that every day I would try to fix as much as I could. I would get error message after error message, maybe 4 hours on that, and then some on the interface, some stuff that would actually run without having to dig through the rest of our spaghetti. Spend maybe 70% of my time twirling his spaghetti, and 30% of my time was actually spent on cooking my own spaghetti. So my spaghetti's not even al dente, it's uncooked. It's like 2 minutes in the pot, whatever. And his spaghetti's still not done, because I'm trying to twirl his spaghetti, but it's not working. And I realize I'm mixing up my cooking and my untangling, but basically what I'm trying to say is he didn't make it easy for me. And we tried pinging him, we tried to add him, whatever. We're like, hey, what does this do? And then maybe 5 hours later he'd be like, oh, well, it does what it's supposed to do. And he's like, okay, thanks, buddy. And I'm like, oh, hey, did you try compiling this stuff? Because I don't know, it doesn't work for me. He's like, nope, no. Of course he said that a few hours after I asked. No, he did not. So basically what I had was code that there was no guarantee that it would work at all. Yeah, great. And I don't know why I didn't just throw it all out. Probably because I was trying to, you have to have a little, you gotta be a little bit tactful in this case, right? You don't want to throw at all your group members' stuff oh, well, you're not very good, so yeah, I'm not going to say that, obviously. It's much easier for me to just sift through his spaghetti instead of saying, I don't appreciate your work. maybe I should have said something else, but we didn't. We really didn't. Because by the time, when it came time to hand in the project, obviously barely functioning, um, all three of us had to show up to this code review thing with the TA, and that was, I think, a day after I had planned to leave for Hamilton, but they were like, oh well, it's mandatory, you have to come or else we're giving you 0. And I was like, oh well, I'd rather get 5 than 0, so I stayed. But on the day of, it was just me and my friend. But my partner didn't even show up to that. I don't think anything actually, like, I think he got the same grade as all of us, whatever. But it's just like, oh, okay. So not only do I have to show up, I also don't have to show up. Or rather, he doesn't have to show up. I don't know. I guess I waited until now to, say anything about this because, well, it doesn't matter anymore. Grades are out. I passed the term. So I don't feel anything when I'm talking about this. It's just kind of a funny story. So yeah, on the topic of movies, such as Revenge of the Sith, my other favorite movie is Napoleon Dynamite. You should really check that out. And if you are computer science oriented, make sure you actually verify that your code works, because your partners won't really appreciate it if you don't. If you just hand them a big mess that you never tested, full of spelling errors, and say, yep, this is my contribution. I don't think they'll appreciate it. I don't know, it's just a hunch. Well, yeah, that's it, I think. Thanks for watching. Remember to watch Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in theaters 12 years ago. Bye.